All right, welcome back to the Top Prospect Podcast. We have the fellas here today for a very special NFL edition. Now, boys, what jerseys are we rocking with today?
All right, I'll go first.
Sorry.
No, go.
Rocking with the best wide receiver in the league, Kenny Golladay, number one.
Kenny Golladay. What else we got?
All right, I'll go. I got the best quarterback in the league, Matthew Stafford. Yes, sir. Not the Lions anymore, but still got him.
You know, I got ex-Rams traded for Matthew Stafford. I got Jared Goff here, the GOAT.
Hey, it's my quarterback, bro. Come on.
One of the
Fox.
highest paid QBs. Gonna do
The
great
highest
things with the Lions.
And I got Reuben Foster back on the 49er days. And yeah, back when he was young and promising. So let's get into it. Our first topic of the day, overtime. Many people have really been against the current overtime rules, with a few people in here included. Do you guys think we should change the overtime rules? And if you do, what should we change it to? John, you start.
I think it's a tough debate just because I don't know if there's truly a perfect answer to overtime. Me personally, I was always a fan of just the sudden death. You know, you just first one to score, you win it, you end the game. So I don't know if there's a truly perfect one, but what I would like to see is it be played almost like the overtimes of almost every other sport, which is you have a set period, say it's 6 minutes, and just you play football. Whoever has the higher score at the end wins. That's the same thing that baseball does. You play a whole extra inning. You know, basketball, you play a condensed quarter, but a quarter. So, I mean, I think football should kind of follow suit with that. Obviously, shorten it. I don't think anyone wants to play another 15-minute quarter, but I like the idea of playing it like a normal game, just getting it extended out. Now, obviously, the downside to that is 6 minutes, there's a chance only one team's going to touch the ball. So that's why I think we run into an issue of trying to figure out what the best ruling is, but that's what I would like to see out of overtime, is it be played as a quarter.
All right. Phil, what are we thinking about overtime?
So it's crazy because I was literally thinking the same exact thing. But at first, yeah. I was thinking of how college does it, how you get the ball 30-yard line or something like that, and you both have a chance to score. But if you do that, many college games go to like 5 overtimes because of that, and no one wants to go on and do that, especially in the NFL. So yeah, I was thinking along those lines with say 6 minutes, it's still a coin toss, whoever gets it, blah blah blah. But yeah, I think overtime now is based on whoever just wins the coin toss. If you win the coin toss, there's a very high chance you're gonna win the game, and that's a luck based thing. So yeah, I agree with John. Like I said, time periods, a 6-minute time period is definitely the move. And yeah.
Cost, your thoughts on the issue?
You know, I'm 50-50 about the overtime rules. Part of me kind of likes it, and I can see why the NFL does it, to make it as short as possible because injuries and other factors. The other part of me is maybe things should change, because there have been great games that go to overtime where one of the teams doesn't get a chance. From the 2018 AFC Championship, the Patriots versus Chiefs. Mahomes didn't even get a chance in overtime, which maybe they should change things so at least both teams get a chance. I don't know what they should do exactly, but I'm kind of leaning towards from the change it so it's longer, or both teams have a chance. And yeah, that's my thoughts about that.
So I see what you guys are saying, how they're okay how they are now, but you'd like to see both guys have a chance at it. Now, Phil said something interesting. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, of having a timer for it. So once that timer ends, would you go to another overtime, or would it just be a tie like how it currently is?
Personally,
Because would you guys support ties? is what I'm getting at.
Me personally, I like the old school philosophy. Tying is like kissing your sister. Ties suck. No one
Oh.
wants to see a tie. You heard that
Yo,
No, I've heard that.
Thank you. Tying ties suck. They're just not good. I'd like to see the game continue going on until we have a winner. But yet again, it's football where they try to change any rule possible because they don't want people to get hurt. So do I think that even has a chance of ever happening? No. Would I like to see it happen? Yeah. I'd like to see them play. If I was in full control, I would want to see a 15-minute quarter played out. 5-quarter game. I think that's what the fans want to see too.
It's an interesting thought. Cost, do you have anything on ties?
yeah, I'm not a big fan of ties. I would way rather see a winner because I feel like it's very like anticlimactic seeing a tie. I think it's just kind of weak. Obviously, I can because injuries and stuff, so maybe they don't want to continue on for a double overtime. Like what John said, I don't think it will happen, but as a fan's perspective, I would love it to happen. Not the biggest fan of ties.
Phil, how about you?
Yeah, I agree on those lines. Like ties like happen, I think once, maybe twice a year for like the NFL. And obviously it's like not very like common for like a tie to happen. But I think like a time period like will be best for the NFL. And I wouldn't say like 15 minutes. Like I think that's a little like too much. But yeah, definitely a shortened period, like 10 minutes, maybe less, doesn't matter. But yeah, like a shortened period will probably be the best. And yeah, I hate ties. I think they're stupid. Like seeing like a tie on someone's like record, it just doesn't even look right. So yeah.
And I think a lot of the fans agree with you that ties suck. So that's why everyone wants to see the college rules get implemented into the NFL overtime, because there's no ties in that, and you just keep going till someone doesn't match it. So yeah, those are some pretty interesting perspectives. Next, we got a couple quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson find themselves in some interesting situations with their current teams. We're going to start with Deshaun Watson. What are your thoughts on the current state of Deshaun Watson, and where do you think he will end up? Let's start with Phil.
The Bengals are a shit show. I mean, Bengals, Jesus. Texans are a shit show. Bengals are too.
Well,
but
both.
yeah, Texans have nothing going like good for them. Like their star player wants to leave. Last season they traded away their star receiver for basically a declining running back in a pick or something along. I don't know what it was. But literally like they have nothing good going for them. They don't have any like notable young talent. They don't have an insane like they just don't have anything. And Deshaun Watson leaving is just gonna make it worse. So I think Deshaun Watson's definitely not going to be on that team next year. Where he's going to go is an interesting question because, as you know, the Dolphins just signed backup quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. Could be a starter, who knows? So that's one of his teams. And the other team he wanted to go to, I believe, was the Jets. So that's also a pretty trash organization. I don't know why he really wants to go there. A bunch of other teams that he could go to, but yeah, I think he's not gonna be there next year. Where he's gonna go, I don't know. But yeah, Deshaun Watson, I feel bad for him. Like the Texans were literally in the playoffs like 2 years ago, and almost beating the Chiefs, who went to back-to-back Super Bowls. And now they're just bottom of the barrel, should start rebuilding, tanking for whoever. And yeah, so Deshaun Watson's out of there.
Phil, if you had to give me one team, any shot in the dark, anything at all, what team is he going to next year? Will he be on next season?
I was thinking the Dolphins for so long until they signed Jacoby Brissett, and I don't think he should go to the Jets. So that's tough. I wanted him to go to the Saints, but Saints have negative $5 billion in the cap, so they can't do anything with that. So yeah, I guess the Jets, because not really any other team.
All right, thank you. Koss, what are your thoughts on Deshaun Watson?
Well, the Texans goofed up. And it started with the whole DeAndre Hopkins thing, only trading a second rounder and a washed up David Johnson, which that move was just very questionable. And then, he has a career year, I think like best in passing yards and had the most touchdowns in his career. And it was just completely wasted because they were just absolutely garbage. And then the offseason comes, JJ Watt's gone. They let him walk. You have these like small signings, and then like you don't involve them with what was it, the head coaching or some general manager like didn't like talk to him at all about it. So that was another mistake. So I think right now they're trying to like salvage the relationship and don't want to like trade him away just yet. And honestly, I don't blame him for doing that because they just literally keep making mistakes left and right. I would love to see him go. I think he should. And I agree with Phil that eventually he will be traded because I feel like he's going to hold out. I wouldn't be surprised if he just held out and didn't want to play.
All right. John.
Well, I think Phil and Koss kind of hit most of the main points. But one thing that Koss said about the Texans being a shit show, that dates back even further. I'm talking back to the days where they paid Brock Osweiler how much money?
Oh, that was...
They've been pretty poorly run for a while. I mean, you have a team with that much talent, literally up, what was it, 24-0 on the Chiefs? Is that what it was? Or was it just 21? Regardless of what it was, though, it was the AFC title game, correct? Chance to go to the Super Bowl, and you're up by
divisional
that.
round.
It was divisional, yeah.
You sure about that?
Yes, because then they played the Titans in the AFC Championship game.
Thank you. Yes. So, but either way, I mean, you have a team that's obviously one of the best teams we've seen in a while, and you're proving you can compete with them, and then you get rid of DeAndre Hopkins. Like, screw your favorite target, then I guess, right?
It's the 1-year anniversary since he got traded. Little fun fact.
Good timing. And then the whole JJ Watt wanting out. I mean, I don't blame Deshaun Watson at all. It's basically what I'm getting to. I mean, that is just a shit show. It's poorly run. They have nothing going for them. I think what's really going to hold this back is the fact that Deshaun Watson doesn't have any control in this trade, really. And the Texans obviously know his value, and they're not going to let him go for cheap at all. So if I had to answer the question of where is he going to go, I honestly don't even know if he's going to be traded by like training camp, early season time, because I think the Texans are going to try to hold strong, even though they've made terrible trades in the past. I don't see them jumping the gun at a trade. If he was to be traded, I think I'd go with the Jets as the team he goes to. I mean, the Jets seem kind of, and Sam Darnold at the moment. Yeah, Sam Darnold's obviously not that great. But Phil, you said something about how you don't know why Deshaun Watson would want to go there, I'm pretty sure. Or was that?
Yeah.
I think it's a kind of not that bad a situation, though. I mean, you do have Jameson Crowder up there. So you do have a receiver.
Corey Davis now.
And Corey Davis, too. Yeah.
Isn't Jameson Crowder not resigning? Or didn't he get traded or something? I thought I saw him in the news. Maybe not.
He's a free agent next year.
Next year, okay.
So, I mean, they do have some pieces around him. And, I mean, he's probably wants to go to a team that he can build around. So people don't think he's soft going to like a filthy team. I mean, I don't think the Jets would be a bad fit for him at all. And if he was to be traded, I think that's the team he'd end up on.
John, you nailed it. He doesn't have any of the power in this situation because he signed that massive extension and doesn't really have a like any player options or like no trade clauses or anything like that. So he's kind of at the mercy of the organization. And what really sucks for him is that I think the Texans are going to see if he's going to put his money where his mouth is. And I think by the start of the season, Deshaun Watson will still be on the Texans. And it's going to be up to him if he's going to continue to play or if he's going to sit out for them. And I think that during the season, he'll get traded to the Carolina Panthers.
Ooh.
They have a ton of young assets. They have some decent draft, like they have a good draft pick this year. that they could use on a guy to go trade for him. Then they have a decent quarterback. I believe they still have Teddy Bridgewater that they could use in that trade as well. So I think the Carolina Panthers is where Deshaun Watson will end up. So Russell Wilson has heard his name buzzing around the news lately. Do you think Russell Wilson is on the move, John?
I honestly don't know. I mean, 1 week it seems like he wants out, he wants to leave. Next week, some people kind of start to slow down the talks with him. Overall, I kind of believe he does want to be moved. I think the he approached it very early in the process, kind of like they trade me, kind of like didn't really say he was committed to the team. So I think he will end up traded. And like we just pointed out with Watson, I mean, Wilson has a no trade clause, correct me if I'm wrong. So he does have a little more control. I think he will be on the move, but I'm not sure where he's going to go because I feel like the Seahawks are going to ask for way too much for him. Not saying he's not worth a lot. I mean, he's obviously a very skilled quarterback, but I feel like their asking price is going to be through the roof, and it's going to hold back like his ability to really dictate where he goes.
Phil, do you think Russell Wilson's going anywhere?
He's staying where he is. The only team I could literally see him going to is the Dallas Cowboys. And obviously, they just signed Dak Prescott to whatever his deal was. So I don't see Wilson going anywhere. In the future, maybe like next year, if they say they don't make the playoffs or like they lose in the playoffs, something like that, and the Seahawks don't try to improve like the line or something or whatever their issue is, then yes, I can see Russell Wilson leaving. But I think this year he's going to stay, try and run it back, see how everything is. And if it's the same situation as last year, then he will be gone then. Where? That's a good question. Depends on what team's doing what next year, but I firmly believe he's staying.
Goss, what about you?
As much as I would like to see him leave, I think he is staying because I saw something today about how hard the Bears were trying to get him, and Seattle said they're shutting it down, not trying to trade him. He probably will, at least for this season, he will stay. And I don't blame him for voicing his I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I don't blame him for voicing his concerns about not having the best O-line. And I saw this stat that he's been top 5 most sacked quarterback every year he's been in the league, except for once, and he was 6th. So obviously when you get hit that much, sacked that much, I would voice that concern. And I feel like the Seahawks should not be frustrated that he said that publicly, because I'm pretty sure everyone in the whole world knows how bad it's been, and it's affected his playoff success, especially last season, where the Rams just got pressure almost every play. So I think he's staying, but I don't blame him for having these wanting to leave.
I think his frustration stems from the fact that the Seahawks haven't been the best drafters, with the exception of a few picks. And they haven't really been able to take anyone that's been able to protect Russell Wilson. And it's kind of shocking that for this many years, he just continues to get sacked and hit and just beaten to the ground. But I think it would be stupid for Deshaun Watson to want to go anywhere else, because just look at the weapons he has there. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. It really doesn't get that much better than those two. Like, they're setting the world on fire at the wide receiver position.
Tyler Lockett's very underrated. I think he's not talked about enough.
He is. As much as I'd love to see Russell Wilson leave the division, I don't think it's going to happen.
See, I agree with you, Bass. I don't see why he'd want to leave the situation outside of the fact of, one, I feel like he doesn't get too much attention. I mean, he kind of always wants to be that best player, to be in the MVP talks, and he just like never is. Maybe he wants a place where he is the spotlight somewhere. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's too big of a driving factor, but it could be. I don't see why he'd want to be traded either, just because of the talent around him. But I feel like the fact that he voiced it and the way he's been about it, I kind of believe he does want out. I think he wants to explore other options and see what else is out there, because maybe he's like, okay, well, we won the Super Bowl, we lost the Super Bowl, and they really haven't made much noise past that. I don't know. Maybe does he think that the Seahawks are almost like on their way out of like, I don't even know exactly how I'm trying to say it, but
Their Super Bowl window.
On the decline. Yeah, exactly. Is the Super Bowl window closing with that team? And I think that's up to everyone to decide whether it actually is or not. But I think he's just trying to explore other options and see maybe something else is out there and somewhere that he can go compete for another Super Bowl, somewhere where he can put up the stats to be in that MVP conversation at the end of the season and really build the true legacy around his name.
Now, Phil, do you think that Russell Wilson is partially to blame due to the fact that they can't grab linemen because of he's a pretty high paid player? So is it fair to put a little bit on the blame on him, or is it completely unfair? Just your thoughts on it.
I think that is in some cases, yes, but in most cases, I don't think he's to blame. Like, yes, he has a big contract, but he earns every single dollar of that with how he plays in the field. I don't know what number he is for like highest paid quarterbacks. I don't know like how high he is in that list, but there's other big contracts on that team. Say like Bobby Wagner and other players. I don't want to name them all, but a thing about Russell Wilson that I've watched like Russell Wilson play a lot, and the thing about him is that he's a hard player to block for, because his movements on the field, I think, are unlike any other quarterbacks. When hold on, let me try this. So when Russell Wilson's more like, some people like watch him and it's like, oh, like when he was younger, he was like just a scrambling like quarterback. Like he always like wanted to run and never threw. But he's evolved his game to the point where he can like throw, run, he can do whatever. Most of the time he rolled out of the pocket. Like he's never like in the pocket for a long time. He's always in the move, always rolls out. So I think linemen have trouble, I guess, blocking for that type of quarterback, because most of the quarterbacks in the league usually stay in the pocket and like deliver like a pass or something. I think like the only quarterbacks that I can name off the top of my head that like do like scramble out like normally are like Wilson, Mahomes, and maybe like Teddy Bridgewater or something. I can't really name a whole lot of quarterbacks that do that. So I don't know. It's like, I don't think Wilson's to blame for like the lack of offensive linemen, but there is an argument I can see that like supports that claim right there.
Cost, do you think Russell Wilson is at all to blame for his sack numbers?
I really don't. If money is a problem, I feel like they could talk and like maybe reconstruct his deal to make it more cap space friendly. And there's also the draft where they could all these years could have drafted like top linemen in their draft classes. So I really don't blame Wilson for this problem. I've watched Russell Wilson play a lot, and it's just nothing he can really do about some of these issues.
Keels, are you blaming Russell Wilson at all, Mr. Mute?
I think it's hard to put the blame on him for a situation like this. I mean, yeah, he's getting paid a bunch, but I mean, Patrick Mahomes is getting paid above him still. Dak Prescott's now above him with his deal, and Deshaun Watson's above him. So it's not like he's getting paid like way outside the box of what people are earning in that position. No, I don't think he's to blame. I don't think he's gone on about how he wants to make more money, break Patrick Mahomes' deal, this, that. Like, yeah, he's getting paid a lot of money. I think he deserves it. I mean, he has 2 NFC championships and a Super Bowl early in his career, because it was pretty recently after that he signed that extension. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, like, I think he's without a doubt earned the money.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
All right. Well, NFL free agency kicked off yesterday. We saw a lot of names on the move. We have a few of our favorite selections. So let's start here. Jake, who's your favorite free agency signing so far?
All right, well, this is going to be completely biased, and it has to do with the Patriots. And they just went completely crazy with free agency, literally signing guys left and right, breaking the internet. It's my favorite signing has to be, well, it's two. Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. I was not expecting them to even go after a tight end. I know a bunch of fans and other people wanted them to sign a tight end, but I was completely shocked to see Jonnu Smith, one of the first names on the move. And then the next day, Hunter Henry gets signed, which I don't think anyone expected that. No one expected both of them to be signed by the same team, especially. And it was a big need the Patriots needed. They needed offensive talent, as they really didn't have that much last year. They got two rookies that really didn't do anything until the final game of the season, and that was honestly one of the best moves of free agency.
John, who's your favorite free agency signing so far?
My favorite one, I didn't take the bias approach, but Koss, I agree 100% with you. Big moves.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl champs this year. But beyond the point, my favorite signing has got to be the JJ Watt one. I think JJ Watt really shocked the world with his decision. I mean, I feel like the Cardinals weren't really talked about much when discussing him. Obviously, the Packers were favorited and the Steelers were up there. And so I like that he shocked us all with his move. And I think the Cardinals are a wicked good fit for him. I mean, they're a young team that has showed a lot of promise throughout the season last year, and they just kind of their age showed in big moments. But I think Kyler Murray is a great quarterback. DeAndre Hopkins, one of, if not the best wide receiver in the league, easily top three. I think that's pretty much set in stone. I was going to say that, but I didn't.
He's number one.
Okay, yeah, I'll agree.
We can all agree with that.
I didn't want to get backlash from Phil about his boy Julio Jones. But anyway, yeah, so they've got some young talent. They've really done some good things. I still think they are a couple pieces away because they do play in a tough division. But I mean, him and Chandler Jones together, I think that's pretty good.
That's going to be nice.
Pretty good foundation on defense to build around.
John, do you think JJ Watt makes them divisional contenders?
Yes. Contenders, yes. Do I want to say 100% they have it locked up? No, I don't. But I mean, they competed with the whole division this past year. I mean, it's a tough division for sure, but can they take it? Yeah, I think they could.
Phil, I saw you make a face on that. Do you think JJ Watt makes them divisional contenders?
That division is easily the best in the NFL, and it's so tough, bro.
Last year they were contenders without JJ Watt. People were talking about them in the conversation last year for a couple of weeks. They were playing very good football.
I agree.
Now, the Bills last year,
let's be real.
Very good. No, how can you say they're not contenders? They were being talked about in the conversation of if they add a big piece on defense. Granted, he's had his injury problems. You add another elite pass rusher like that to your team. How can you knock them out of
he's fired up now?
That doesn't make any sense.
Can I talk, bro?
Yeah, you can talk.
Let him speak.
Or else I'll interrupt you again.
I never said they weren't contenders, but if you look at the division, Seattle will still be Seattle.
San Francisco have their quarterback next year?
Let me talk. San Francisco's fully healthy, and I'm blanking on the other team.
The
Rams. Oh my God, the Rams still have that elite defense and a brand new quarterback who. So that they could easily get either first place or last place in that division. All those teams are insanely good, and I'm not saying they are contenders, but it's really tough for that division.
So you just said they could get first or last in the division, but they're not contenders to get number one.
No, oh my God.
If they could be first in the division, then they're a contender.
I'm saying you can't, obviously, yes, they can be contenders, but saying that they can be number one, sure, but I think they're the least favorite still to be number one in that division. personally.
Us, what do you think about JJ Watt making the Cardinals divisional contenders?
I definitely agree with John. Phil's got me a little shaky about his thoughts, but Bass, I'm sorry. I think they'll be better than the 49ers. I don't know how I feel about the 49ers this year. You don't know about the Rams. I guess they got Stafford, but you still don't know. The offense is still pretty much the same, and I think they need to improve on their O-line a bit. And then there's Seattle. So I think the Cardinals could definitely be a wild card, but division, I'm not 100% sure.
The question was not will they win the division. It's are they in contention and can they contend to
They
win?
were
it?
in contention before JJ Watt.
That's what I said, and you said no, they're not division contenders.
Well, obviously they're division contenders.
But I
Yeah.
mean, that
Well,
question
Phil
means can you
said
realistically
they weren't
see them as
contenders.
winning it?
Yes, I realistically can. 100%.
I agree.
I do not realistically see them as winning it, and I see them as more likely to finish last than to finish first.
Yeah, because you're
But I'm
Niners
the idiot.
fanboy.
Okay.
They're gonna be way better than the Niners. Way better. And it's not even gonna be close. But go on with whatever gibberish you want to blabble on about.
This man is in his feels about JJ Watt right now.
I
Okay.
know.
The
You're taking it
Rams,
personal.
the Rams have the same team except a complete upgrade at quarterback. You can't say that they're better than them. The Seahawks
Take
right now
that off.
are still a very, very, very good team. And then obviously, as much as I would love to say the Niners are just going to go light the world on fire, they're a big question mark right now. Their last season, they were fully healthy. They were very good. And I think the two favorites to lose the division is going to be San Francisco and Arizona. But if everyone on San Francisco plays how they did in that, 2019 season, then I don't see them being worse than the Cardinals.
All right, this is not me trying to knock Matt Stafford. I have a lot of respect for the man. I think he's a great player and all.
Ooh,
but
Matt
Watch
Stafford
what you say.
slander.
Watch what you say.
Slander.
I am going to say it, Phil.
Watch what you say.
I would argue that his weapons in Detroit around him are better than what he's walking into in LA. Okay.
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 Go on.
That's what I will say. I think that, and if he couldn't win with those weapons in Detroit, what makes you guys think? I think he's an upgrade than Jared Goff. I think he's a lot better.
But
But
the
what makes
defense, the
you
Rams
think that-
defense is
Yes,
Yes, I
completely
agree.
better.
The defense is, but who's to say that Matt Stafford's really going to elevate them up to win the division?
John, they just gave him the best division or the best defense in football.
Defense
not gonna be good.
What's he going to do on offense? Is he
You
going
just talked about winning games, though. You need a defense to win games.
Yeah, you need defense. You
And
don't.
Lions did not have a defense.
And Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp still exist. Who's their
My
tight
argument
end?
was that
Higbee?
Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay are better than those two. Is my argument. Give me that face all you want. You know it's
Your argument is wrong.
you know it's true.
I need to hear Phil's thoughts on this after Matt Stafford being slandered.
Lions fan.
I think the brother can play. I think he's a great quarterback. But you're going to take an unproven guy there versus a guy who literally almost won the NFC West. Matt Stafford's never had this kind of competition in his life either, besides Aaron.
I need to hear Phil's words on this
Glasses
Matt
on.
Stafford
Let's get it.
slander. So just let him talk. Just let him talk. We'll
As
get back
a-
to you after, and then
As a
then we'll get back on
diehard
track.
Lions and Matt Stafford fan, I'll kindly disagree with that statement of how
Okay.
the Lions have better weapons.
We like being kind.
Galladay's injured 24/7. Marvin Jones drops wide open passes. He has a rookie DeAndre Swift as a running back who missed a game-winning touchdown in the first week. That's literally his weapons right there. And to say that Cooper Kupp might be one of the best slot or one of the best route runners in the whole league. He is
I
such
think
a
he's
good route
underrated.
runner.
He's
He's a
underrated.
very good route runner. Robert
Both of
Woods.
them are. Robert Woods too.
I don't watch a whole lot of Robert Woods. I'm not gonna try and make something up, but Robert Woods is very good. Obviously the running back, I think was it Henderson or something as their starting running back, or
Acres.
I don't know who that is. Akers also, yeah, two young running backs, very proven. And the thing that is gonna help him more is that the Lions literally also had one of the worst lines in the NFL, offense and defense. So he actually has protection. Hopefully the Rams line. I didn't see Jared Goff get sacked a whole bunch last year, so And obviously Stafford, in my opinion, is better than Goff. I hope that's not an unpopular opinion. So
Maybe
I
with
think-
Jake it is.
I
Oh no,
think
Stafford's better.
so I think Stafford's in such a good situation, and if he can like lead this team to the playoffs, then that'd be amazing.
My
Koss,
point with
I'm
this
gonna let
argument-
you. I'm gonna let Koss weigh in first, and then we're gonna get John's final thoughts.
All right. So, Phil brought up a great point that Galladay does get injured a lot, and Marvin Jones, he is getting older, and the whole DeAndre Swift debacle. People think the Rams are like instant Super Bowl contenders. That's what I've heard when like the trade first happened. I still like think that it's a little bit of a question mark because you don't know how he will do exactly with the new team. Personally, I think the Lions won the trade, but we just gotta wait to see how he plays during the season. At first I was agreeing with John, but I might be on Phil's side now.
John, let's get your final thoughts.
My final thoughts for starters are this.
Oh,
Oh, my point.
That picture contradicts your point.
My point. I know. I just want to get Phil going.
I can't look at that, bro.
My point with this was saying that you guys seemed a little optimistic on the Rams. And the point is that I don't think it's a guarantee that the Rams are going to be that much better than Arizona. I think Matt Stafford's an upgrade, but is that upgrade really enough to say that they are 100% going to be favored to the point where Arizona is not in contention? I was not trying to disrespect your boy, Phil. I'm trying to disrespect you 100%. I'll admit it. I'll admit when I'm disrespecting you. My point is that I still believe Arizona is 100% contender, and I don't know why you guys were so high on the other teams in the league, as good as the league is.
The division, you mean?
Division, that is what I meant.
Division. Well, that seems to be a very heated topic. Phil, what is your favorite free agency signing thus far?
Well, can I pass it to let you go first, or do you want me to go?
Okay, I'll take it. I'll go first. My favorite free agency signing so far, it's very under the radar, and a lot of people may not have even noticed it. Trey Hendrickson signed with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, John's face just said, "Who the heck is this guy?" Is that what you just said, John?
More than I didn't really know he got signed or anything.
He got signed to the Bengals on a 4-year deal.
He's a
So
bum.
he is a very
Good signing.
very young pass rusher. He was with the Saints, and he just had a very quiet career season. Now, as we all know, the Bengals need tons of help, and both their offensive and defensive line are not very good. And I think that is a great signing to beef them up within that already stacked AFC North division.
definitely. Very underrated signing, I think. It's definitely going to help them out. Now they just need to get that O-line, improve the defense more, then they should be getting better within the next few years.
And a healthy quarterback,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I'm praying
Yes.
for Joe Burrow.
Yes.
very healthy. Bengals could be solid, bro.
They
Not
could-
bad, as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, he had a really good season for the Saints this year.
He did. I think it was a great addition for them.
Yeah, and he's young too.
Yep. Very promising career out of that kid.
Very, very. So Phil, I'll go back to you. What is your favorite free agency signing so far?
I'm doing one that's
Oh,
like
boy.
it's not talking, bro. This is like I'm not doing Stafford and Goff. I'm not doing that.
That's
Okay.
a trade. We're looking for signings.
Okay. But I'm gonna do Jacoby Brissett to the Dolphins. I think, bro. Okay, hear me out before you freak out and say
Ooh.
that's
I'm not freaking out. I think
Let's
it's
hear it.
fun.
Let's hear it.
Bro.
Let's hear why.
so. Last year, obviously they had Fitzpatrick as a backup quarterback and Tua was there. Tua struggled, as you know, and Fitzpatrick filled in and like won them games and stuff. So I'm I'm not trying to like jinx anything or like try and like wish bad luck on him, but I don't think Tua is gonna have a great year again, and that he's going to get benched. So I think Jacoby Brissett being there, as like he proved in Indianapolis that he can win games, and I think him being like a backup quarterback there is gonna both help is gonna help the team overall, who's obviously contending like to be in the playoffs and who knows can win the division. They probably won't, but obviously they have a chance to. But I think Jacoby Brissett being there is like it's like people are like overlooking it, and I think that the Dolphins are going to be. I don't want to say division champ because that's just not good.
That
Wild
would
card,
yeah.
baby.
I think
Like a
they
higher
will make
wild
the.
card.
I think they will make the wild card. I think they'll have a very good record, and like I said, I think Jacoby Brissett's going to end up being their starting quarterback because Tua's lack of having good games, I guess. So yeah,
lack of skill is what we call it.
I think the
He has
Brissett
skill.
signing
Yeah.
gives the Dolphins organization a sense of kind of direction on where to go with Tua, because I think obviously you want Tua to be your guy, and I think he's going to be the day one starter. And if he's like signing another quarterback will kind of light a fire and give competition to him, which is what you want.
exactly.
If he's better than Brissett, then you kind of have your guy and what you hope to be is your guy. But if he's worse than Brissett, who's like a fringe starter, like backup, like a high end backup guy, if he's worse than Brissett, then you know that that's not your guy and that you need to go get a new one. So I think it gives the organization a sense of direction.
Yeah.
Koss, what do you think?
You know, Phil, I was laughing when you first said it, but you know,
Bro.
now I kind of agree. I forgot about how many times Fitzmagic saved some games for the Dolphins. You know, Tua did struggle, and I kind of agree with you that Tua might struggle again, and hopefully the Brissett signing like pushes him, motivates him to improve his game. You know, even like Dolphins players and I think some people from the organization even said they're kind of shaky about Tua. So even what Bass said, maybe it puts them in like some direction. And I honestly, that's a really good signing. I have to agree with you on that.
Well, Phil, I also laughed and I apologize because it was an opinion-based question. It was which one did you like the most as far as free agent signings? I think the only reason why I was kind of about it is because like it kind of seems like one that's like wicked under the radar and kind of like I don't know the right word to use, but it's not like a big signing. It's very like, oh, they signed a backup quarterback. Like, really, that's Philip's favorite move. But I think your reasoning behind it kind of sealed it into a good one. And I agree. I'm not sold on Tua at all. I think Fitzpatrick should have remained the starter when he did. And I don't know how Tua continued to struggle in games. You bring Fitzpatrick into Fitzmagic, I should say, to bail him out. And then the next week, you just hand it back to Tua. I'm not trying to deny his talent. He's obviously a very, very talented player, but I think he's going to struggle again. I really do. And Brissett might end up being a good signing. Do I think Brissett's their future either, though? No, I don't see it as a huge signing because it's not like you landed someone that's going to improve your team today. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see Brissett being a guy that's going to like win you a division or get you deep into the playoffs. So if they're signing it with the intention of good chance he takes over to a spot, I don't see it as like a big, good free. Shouldn't say good. It's good because you need the depth, obviously, but don't see it as like a big splash that made your team better today.
Do we have
Yeah.
any more thoughts on Jacoby Brissett?
No, but I was gonna choose the Young Hoi Koo signing, bro. I was thinking about it.
That was huge. But it was a re-sign, not a switch team. So,
Re-sign.
Yeah, so yeah.
How many years?
like 4 or 5. It was a pretty long-term
Multi-year?
deal for a kicker.
Multi-year for a kicker?
Got the goat back.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Best kicker in the league. Even though he missed that game-winning.
Shut up. No, we didn't.
That's your
Oh,
boy,
my bad.
John. You gotta own those. Do we have any confirmation on the deal?
I'm finding the exact confirmation if you give me 1 second.
Well, Wow.
I think personally the moment for me that I knew that Tua was down bad basically was when it was that game against the Raiders like towards the end of the season, and like Fitzmagic like threw that deep ball and like his helmet was getting grabbed and he just chucked it up, bro. I was
Dude,
like,
that play was insane.
yeah. I was like, that's when
Craziest
I
play of
knew,
the
bro.
Yeah, like they literally gave Tua the whole game to shine, and then Fitzpatrick comes
that.
in at the end, and I'll go win
Bro,
the
that was
game.
the craziest thing.
You know, I think my second favorite signing was Fitzpatrick going to the football team. I think
That's true.
that's a match made in heaven.
That team got better.
Oh yeah,
That signing.
that QB competition between Taylor Heineke and Fitzpatrick gonna be
Yeah.
crazy.
Patrick actually has a lot of talent on that team.
Two goats.
Antonio Gibson, Scary
Rick
Terry.
Warren.
There's no
Yes, sir.
details on Koo's contract. All it says that he's signed it.
Okay, well, I'm happy for Young Week.
I'm very happy. I wish they could
This
snagged him though.
this has been the Top Prospect Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe down below, and to follow us on socials. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on Anchor, we're on Spotify, and many other podcast listening websites. Be sure to comment down below what you agree with, what you disagree with, and let us know what your favorite free agency signing was.
Please give us
So-
suggestions.
Thank you very much.
Love y'all.
Detroit sucks.
Come on.